or the MEAC. See, I never like it or the C. HBCU is where to be. We could be with family from the SWAT, from the MEAC, CAA, or the SEAC. HBCU is where to be. We could be, but we still family. Yo, what's really happening? It's your boy, it's your uncle, it's your cousin, it's your best friend. I am here for another edition of the HBCU Man Cave. I need you to hit that like, hit the subscribe, hit that comment. Let somebody know that your boys are back for another Sunday night conversation. Here, we are so excited to be here where we can come, where we can, it's a safe space for men to relate, relax, and release. When we are in the cave, we uplift, we educate, and we celebrate the legacy and the excellence of HBCUs as a band of brothers. Now, as always, let me bring my profound gentlemen to the stage. Ba, 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 ba. I got Kevin Keys and Shane Kane. Y'all, what's going on?
What's up? What's up? What's up?
What's up, man? What's good, fellas? What's good? What's good? What's good?
How y'all doing today?
To be here.
It's another beautiful day in the neighborhood. Look, we finally got some sun out. You know, the weather is starting to change a little bit. Come on. That part. How's your life? How's the week so far for you? How was the week this past week? How was your last week? Oh, Kevin had to sigh of relief. That was an exhale. Like, oh wait. That was a wait. Oh, come on.
But God.
Come on.
I can sit here and complain and talk to y'all about everything that went wrong, everything that went right, but I'm going to just say through all of it, but God. But God, he did it. He got me through. So I ain't even going to complain. I had a trying week, but God showed me everything I needed to see. So
okay.
I'm blessed.
Come on. So Shane, so Kevin had his but God experience this week. What about you?
God's working.
Okay. Oh, and he's still working.
And he's still working.
Why say he and he working it out for you good?
Yes, sir. I'm here.
Even when you don't even expect it.
Come on. Ooh, come on now.
Listen, church was good today. I went to church today, had a great time. Listen, wherever you're watching us from right now, let us know if you're watching on Instagram, TikTok, or YouTube. Let us know where you're watching from. Shout out your HBCU. Shout out your city. Let us know where you are, what's happening. I wonder if we're going to get some of our regulars. Know. Hey, Miss Susie, if you out there, if not, I'm going to say a little bit later. Like, so where you get that hoodie from? Where you get that outfit from? Where you get that shirt from? Girl, Miss Susie going to be in my closet. But anyway, listen, gentlemen, we are here for week 3 of our Women's History Month acknowledgement. Okay. And so we again are being invaded in the man cave once again. Now, after March, we putting these women up out of here.
But for the record, I can say this has been my favorite episodes is them invading the man cave. They've been dropping gems. They've been dropping gems.
They've been eating.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. They've been hold on. Before they ate, they cooked.
I don't know.
They cooked.
Are you gonna get canceled for that one?
He said it, not me.
And they just ate because
they cooked. And we were eating. We were eating. They cooked.
We could have been.
Well, let's just see what we have for this. So today, somebody, Kevin can relate to once Kevin heard what school she went to. Kevin's like, oh, he said, I got questions. Kevin's like, I got questions. I'm gonna sit back and just be quiet there because listen, today's show. She is an entrepreneur. She's in sports. She's in media. She's in broadcasting. She's from Texas Southern University. Right now, living in Houston, Texas. Y'all give it up to Shaquira Martin.
What's up? What's up?
What's up?
What's up, sis? How you doing?
I'm good. I'm so grateful to be in a safe space that you guys have created. I'm honored to be just here chopping it up with you guys. So thank you so much for having me on the show.
Oh, let's just talk about it then. Come on.
Let's talk
Wait.
about
But before we talk, can we say like a quick little prayer? I like to invite God into everything that I do. So, you know, all right, let's go in prayer. Thank you, Lord, for today, just waking us up this morning and just protecting us throughout the day. I thank you, Lord, for allowing me to be in this space with these three gentlemen. I ask that you come into this space and just lead our hearts and our minds, open our ears and open our minds to a new perspective, and just have your way and your glory. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Hey, man, come on.
You gotta have peace in everything, especially in 2025, okay?
Listen, that she done had to set the atmosphere, and here I come with some shenanigans. Like, I'm about to come with shenanigans now, because I forgot to do this before you came on the show, Shaquira. We typically do this. So I'll be like, so Shane, what's in your cup?
No, listen, I get ratchet, okay? We all like Peter. You know what I'm saying? We all like Peter. We get a little ratchet sometimes.
Hey,
you know what I'm saying?
Hey,
listen,
I'm going to tell you real quick. I am Peter. I will cuss you out.
Listen, I'm
But
Peter.
you gonna fight for your Lord, okay?
You see what's in my background? You know, I got the liquor back there. I got, you know, the TV going.
You know, Man
what's
Cave.
in my cup? I got Mr. Jack Daniels in my cup, mixed with a little bit of Red Bull, sugar-free.
Okay.
And just a tap of Coke, just a little bit.
What did the sugar-free do? I'm confused on why he emphasized the sugar-free. Like he just, the razzle-dazzle. Like he just gave obesity ordering a whole menu, then said, let me get a Diet Coke. Like
it wasn't Diet Coke, but I know what Red Bull do to me when it's sugary.
Okay.
Yeah.
You don't need the extra kick.
Remember, I was a pro athlete at one time. I don't need all that
extra kick. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me then go there real quick, Shaquira, since you're in the sports realm. How often have you seen athletes use and or abuse, or is that something that you ever have to come across and have to tell a story about?
No, actually, a lot of athletes, the real ones that enjoy their craft and understand that it's more than a game, usually aren't drinking or smoking. But then you, of course, have some athletes where this is just a job for them. So you might see them during off season cutting up and doing what they're doing. But hey, that's their business. You know what I'm saying?
Come on for the cut up off season.
Heavy on the that's their business.
That's their business.
All right, so let's get started. So let's talk about. Can we go? Yes, come on.
Gardy.
Gardy, come on. Talking about women's appreciation. Let's go. So listen. So first, let's talk about how did you get to Texas Southern from San Antonio, Texas, your home city?
Yeah, so grew up in San Antonio. I actually went to Sam Houston State for my undergrad, picked up communications there, didn't even plan to become a reporter. I went there for trying to be a heart surgeon. Then, of course, I had to pivot because things happen. And communications just fell on my lap. From there, I graduated with no internship. And every time when I was applying for a job, they were like, you need experience. And I had a really good mentor at that time, Nakia Cooper. She's a heavy hitter here in Houston. And she was like, girl, you need to go back to school. You need to go and be with your people, get some love, get some further your education, and get your internships while you're in grad school. So I applied to Texas Southern. They accepted me, and it was boots on the ground from there. No pun intended. No pun intended, but it was boots on the ground, and I really enjoyed learning from my peers who looked like me. Sam Houston State at the time was 8% Black, and that was a culture shock coming from San Antonio. So when I went to Texas Southern, it was like, all right, like this is where it's at. And honestly, like that experience at my HBCU, even though it was grad school, I was taking school like middle of the day. So I got to really enjoy the HBCU experience of hearing the band play while I'm walking to school or enjoying hump day. So yeah, it was a really good time at Texas Southern. And if I got to pay any school loans back, it's going to be to my HBCU before it be to
All right now.
He just go pull out his shirt real quick.
Oh no, it was already here. This so happened to be right next to me. Like I don't know how.
Happened. It's the real TSU, so we be excited when anytime someone is an alumni and a fellow peer.
You see. To point out, it's also my graduation cert too, so that's why I was.
He got his name back there.
Name on the back.
Is it though? Is it really? No, just kidding.
It is.
Just kidding. All right. For those who just joining us again, we are talking to Shaquira Martin, a Texas Southern University grad student, working in the sports and media realm. And let's just talk about this career path. So now, here's a question for you. You said you went into communications, right? Yeah. So I'm just curious, because my background, my first degree is in communication, and I think I ended up. I think this career chose me because I used to be the one who used to get in trouble for talking too much in school.
Same.
Now I get paid to talk.
Period.
Do you?
Let them know what you counted for evil turned up for my good. That's a word.
Come on now.
That's a word.
Did you find yourself in that kind of space, or was it just like you just kind of like, you know what?
No. So again, like if I knew MySpace would have made me like a tech savvy person and there was a career out of that, I would have went into that. There was just things happening around me that I was just naturally gifted at. And I had no clue that would lead to an opportunity for it to be a career. So when I was in communications at SAM, I just knew I liked to talk. I didn't know if that was radio. I didn't know if that was TV. And then at the time, it was heavily focused on news. And so we would do a lot of news packages. And I was like, yo, I like to talk, but this is like too heavy. Like we covering things that I didn't have to leave San Antonio about. Like, I don't know about this. And sports just really fell onto my lap. I've always been a lover of every sport. I was an athletic trainer in high school. I never was really gifted in sports. So becoming a sports reporter, it just felt natural. I was able to talk in depth about each sport. I truly enjoyed it. And I also like serving as the mutual gap, whether that's females who don't understand football. So they're asking, how do I know like what a running back is? Or if I'm on TV and I know that it's male dominated, so I get that I'm talking to majority male viewers, just serving as that mutual gap from the athletes to the fans that are watching or females that are trying to understand the sport. Like communications was really a gift placed on my lap, and I just ran with it once I recognized the gift.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Curious, before my guys come in here with some more questions, give us one good fun fact about you that most people don't know.
Okay.
Should think about that. Like, wait a minute.
You know, I was like, who's watching? No, I'm a big documentary nerd. Like Ken Burns can do no wrong in my eyes. I'm here watching World War II documentaries, Vietnam War documentaries, understanding like foreign policy documentaries, anything I have a Zeus subscription, but I also got a PBS subscription. It's called Balance. You know what I'm saying? And PBS got great documentaries. So yeah, like I'm a huge documentary nerd. People like anime, sports. I like education and history.
Okay, then I would have never thought PBS.
Yeah, that's why nobody knows. Because unless like we talking about something, I'm like, yo, I just watched a documentary on this. You should tap into that. Like, I'm always giving odd references, and people be like, bro, documentaries, that's so like elementary. And I'm like,
that don't even sound like
your history, you gonna repeat it.
But see, like Shane over there, he already looking at like, look,
and as a history teacher, I just want to say thank you for saying that line, because that's the line that I open up with my class like every day. Like, if you do not learn about your history, you are doomed to repeat it. So I want to say thank you. But ain't it also crazy that it's so much easier to just to mention like, hey, you watch a new episode of Baddies, rather than it is like to say, hey, you seen that new documentary? Like, people gonna talk about you asking about that documentary.
You know, and hopefully they Google who Ken Burns is, because Ken Burns is someone who is putting out like informal education. There's so much knowledge out here. And like with everything happening with education and everything transpiring to like what kids, because I don't have any kids, but what kids are available to read in school. Like, I definitely think it's important to go out there and get that knowledge while you can, and come up with your own conclusions, come up with your own perspective about what's going on. So therefore you're a better person in this crazy time in this world.
That's real.
Okay.
That's real.
Come on, Shane, what you got?
You touched because I'm a former pro athlete myself. So
Okay.
thank you for coming on the show. First thing first. You mentioned about bridging the gap.
Yeah.
Right. You went to an HBCU and you talked about bridging the gap between, some of the females who will be asking about maybe football, what a running back is, I'm HBCU football player, you know what I'm saying? So I have a two-part question. And that question or those questions are, how did attending an HBCU shape your perspective and approach to storytelling? With that being said, also, what challenges did you face entering journalism industry and how did you overcome them? Because I know coming from the HBCU and going into the mainstream journalism is pretty difficult.
Yeah, it is. And when I go back and I talk to students, I see the disconnect, whether it's like an email etiquette or it's like them showing me the stuff that they're working on. There is a disconnect. And I think it's important for us to be having conversations like this so they can understand, like, we always have to work twice as hard and you can't be just comfortable and complacent with like your world. You have to also expand outside of that. But going to a HBCU definitely is a safe space where you can get your creativity going. Attending a HBCU, it was crazy, especially coming from a PWI. I'll say that at first, graduating from high school, initially I was really trying to go to a HBCU, and I went to a predominantly white high school. And the only Black teacher at the school, I remember I told her, like, yo, I'm trying to go to FAMU. And she was like, honey, it's a white man's world. You need to go out and you need to learn how to operate in that world. And from there, go for what you want. And so I went to Sam Houston State with that mindset. But little did I know, when I went to Texas Southern, there were things happening there that I just I couldn't express at Sam. And the things that were taking place is, like that culture love, that culture learning, understanding, like, how do people who look like me think? How do we execute things? And then when we're out in the real world, like, how do they perceive us? Because we're all the same. No matter if you're Nigerian or, Ethiopian, like, at the end of the day, like the good brother, Dr. Umar say, you can't make chocolate. You can only have chocolate milk. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't make chocolate milk going to vanilla. So we're all on this platform trying to figure out how to operate in a society that, we're still having to overcome at the same time. So gaining that experience of just what brotherly and sisterly love was from people that look like you was a big push into me going into journalism. Now, when you're talking about athletes and we're talking about sports, like, majority of the athletes are us. So I got comfortable during my time at TSU of just truly expressing myself and knowing, like, how we talk, how we get down. And so I was able to use that in the locker room. There were opportunities that I had that my fellow journalist friends weren't able to get necessarily, because these athletes felt comfortable with me. Like, they look at me and they see their sister, their cousin, or their auntie. And so I was able to use that and support them by sharing their story, because not all the times they could even communicate what their story was. But because I understood that context of their backgrounds, I was able to implement their story in a better situation to where they felt great when they saw themselves on TV, versus like having to second guess, like, what did I say? What is she going to use? Like, I'm not going to make you look bad, bro. Like, I'm here to tell a story. I'm going to tell it the best way that I can. And I'm going to do it unbiased because I am a journalist. But at the same time, like, I'm going to put my people on to make sure, like, we shining, because that is what you're doing. If you go out there and get 4 touchdowns, like, no, I'm not about to sit up here and talk about your baby mama and the hardships that I'm talking about the sport. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to focus more on the sport than anything. So, yeah.
Listen, I'm gonna say this right now. You just touched on so many things, because, and I I have a follow-up question, but before I go in there, because I went to an HBCU, played football there,
Okay.
and went to a PWI,
Okay.
right? The lingo, the language,
It's different.
is different.
Boy, the refund check is different. Okay.
But
The refund check is different. Let's talk about it. I'm just saying.
listen, I wasn't gonna go there, but yeah, but we're there, all right. But
Baby,
I
that
went
refund
to
check
an
is different.
HBCU. I went back to an HBCU because of the lingo.
Yeah.
I know you, you know me. You can look at my face, you know exactly what I'm thinking. It's not a puzzle, it's none of that. So, my follow-up question is, do you think Sam Houston, and I'm gonna kind of put Sam Houston on the map right now with what I'm about to say, did you think
Do we
Sam
know?
Houston robbed you of an early experience of an HBCU full blown experience that you got at TSU?
No, I'm grateful because during my graduate time at TSU, like I said, my classes were 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. So I was able to enjoy the campus and enjoy what comes with the HBCU for what it is. And I'll also say Sam Houston State prepared me to know how to be versatile in different spaces. So yes, it's a choice to go back and pour into my community. But if I have to go into an all-white, male-dominant boardroom and speak, I'm very much comfortable to do so. But also know it's choice. Like it's not an obligation. It wasn't like the only way that I had to learn the world. Like the teacher was telling me, I understood where she was coming from now that I'm older. But I definitely think like if you can experience both, it's definitely good because this isn't a one-sided world. It's great to be just us and for us and by us, but also like white people are our allies as well as Hispanic people are our allies in different nationalities. So I'm very love is love, and I love working with different people who don't look like me because you're also going to have a different perspective and that can have a different outcome on the execution. And I love that. But at the same time, I am pro-Black.
I definitely love your answer because that's what I was exactly looking for, because it was the same experience for me. It kind of opened up a side that I didn't really know.
Yeah.
So, for instance, now in my lifetime, I can go into a board, I can go into any type of meeting. It doesn't matter if it's white, Black, Indian. I know how to prepare, I know how to approach, and I know how to deliver. So I'm so happy you said that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So speaking as you are working through it, working in this journalism world, and you are covering the different sports, let's talk about what is maybe your favorite sport and or what conference.
Okay, that's a loaded question because no, hear me out. And I could talk like this because I'm amongst men who's gonna get it. Like, okay, so I was spoiled when I joined sports reporting, like to begin with. So interning here in Houston, the Astros had just won the World Series. So to have my hands on that was crazy. Then I went to Louisiana and I covered the Saints, and it was the no call game during the NFC Championship. I covered Joe Burrow and LSU.
The
Big
championship
win.
run?
Yes.
Yeah.
And there will never be a college team that will dominate the field the way that 2019 team did.
Yes.
And so to be there, it's like, what? And then from there, I also like hit Nationwide is on your side jingle with Manning during one of my interviews with him. So that was dope. Then I went to Kansas, and there I covered the first D1 Black basketball coach in the state. So it was just an honor to be in that space and translate what was happening to the audience. I covered the Kansas City Chiefs going to the Super Bowl, dropping exclusive interviews for the TV show.
Let's go.
You know what I'm saying? Like I've been spoiled. I've been very blessed. But all in all, the best memorable like reporting situation that I can think of is when I covered the MEAC the Celebration Bowl and the MEAC one. It was North Carolina Central. and they had defeated Jackson State, and
Texas State.
it was Coach Prime's last year at HBCU. So like, to be there, if you like witness the players that were a part of that win, it was so crazy because to us, we knew what was going on. People was mad that Coach Prime had left JSU and was going to Colorado. So it was bigger than a game, and it was just electrifying. And I think what Commissioner Stills is doing for the MEAC has been phenomenal. So to cover that and to support the MEAC in that stance was like crazy.
Okay.
Shout out to Commish Stills.
Quick question. Talking about the MEAC, do you cover Maryland, University of Maryland Eastern Shore?
No, so I did cover CIAA tournament in Baltimore, and they were there, and that was my first time even knowing that school was a thing.
Like my younger brother went there before he went to Florida State. That's why I brought it up.
Yeah, like I got exposed working with the MEAC when I did. I was exposed to a different perspective because as a TSU girly, like all I really knew was the SWAC, and I was able to see a difference when I'm going to Norfolk State, when I'm going to Morgan State, I'm going to like these different campuses, and I'm like, yo, like it's way different from the South compared to what's going on here. And then when you tag on the documentary history that I know, The Great Migration, free plug, go watch it. When you understand how Black people migrated across this country, it's unbelievable. So then when you see these HBCUs in different regions, it's like, oh my gosh, it's making sense. So to anybody who is exploring the HBCU world, I really like encourage you to do your research and just see the different regions, because every HBCU is going to be a different vibe. Like FAMU is not the same as North Carolina A&T. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's all like a different vibe. So it's just depending on like, what's your taste?
And that's why it's a different world.
You know, I never watched that show until recently. Like it's on my binge. Like I'm binging it right now.
Wait a minute.
But last episode y'all was ready to, because last episode y'all was ready to really cut into me. So energy. So backstage.
I'm sorry, y'all. I have to put her in timeout for a hot second. For her to say she never watched that show, black card revolt.
I can't believe you.
Hold on, let's bring it back.
I'm watching it now. Don't do that. Don't do that.
It's coming in talking stuff.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Listen, I was outside playing instead of watching TV. My mama made sure, and shout out to my mom. My mama made sure that I had a good childhood. Okay, I was doing child things, not at home watching Different World.
Look at Anthony's face right now.
Girlfriends, all of that. Like I wasn't watching that.
That's real.
But I was watching BET Uncut at night, like trying to get that tip drill.
Look at Anthony's face. He's not even phased right now. He's like,
I'm gonna come back and let you know what I think of the series, though, because I look forward to.
So you ain't finished it?
No, I'm on season 1.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. Don't revoke my black card. I can start waiting to exhale. Okay.
Don't do it. Don't do it, Anthony.
Okay, so maybe we asking the wrong questions. Now I have questions. Okay.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
So have you seen Boys in the Hood?
Okay. Yes, I've seen all of those. A movie is different from a TV series.
Okay. Good Times.
Yeah, I watched Good Times because I had older cousins. Family Matters was cool. Lauren Winslow was
Martin.
Of course.
My Wife and Kids.
I didn't really care for that show, but sure. That's just my.
Gotta move on.
No other questions, Your Honor.
I gotta move on. What challenges have you faced as a Black woman in the sports industry, and how have you been able to overcome them?
That is a two-folded answer.
Okay.
So on one side, you have, does she know sports? Can she really talk? Is she here because she's pretty? Or does she really know what she's talking about? So you had certain people that were going to be very critical about how I was presenting the stories or my analysts about a game, talking about if, like, especially if it's your favorite team, and I'm sitting up here saying that the O-line needs to work on a couple of things, like, you're going to challenge me just out of the nature. And I'm like, bro, so because you a man, you automatically know, like, because you was on the football team but never touched the field because you was probably on the bench, you know, huh? You know more than me. Like, you know, going through those type of situations were crazy. But on the flip side, I mean, it was very competitive, but you, as we all know, like the entertainment industry has kind of over sexualized Black women. So it was that part of the game too. Like, men thinking like, oh, did she sleep her way to the top? And it's like, bro, no, I'm here because I know what I'm talking about. I'm here because I know what I'm doing. So, you know, just reminding myself constantly that the outside chatter was nothing but distractions to the bigger picture, which is me serving in this mutual gap and really providing an opportunity for the players to be heard, but also to bring my opinion to the whole thing and really, you know, say what I got to say. I was talking big-ish on the screen.
So I want to jump in and say, because you made a very great point when you said, I'm a Black girl, I'm pretty, I'm doing journalism, I know what I'm talking about. I
Yeah.
can relate. I see the bros see me, I'm a sister, I'm auntie, whatever. I've been there. I've seen it in my collegiate career, in my pro career. What advice can you give other journalism of Black coming up? Because most of them have, or people, a lot of people outside have the notion of she'll sleep her way to the top, or that's what she's doing,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I'm just keeping it real. No,
I mean, it's currently happening. We saw
yeah,
Never make your way to
The
the top,
presidential
girl.
election, how they thought that Kamala, the most qualified person in that race, was sleeping her way to the top because they wouldn't
exactly,
give a Black woman her credit.
exactly, because that is used
Yeah.
against women of color who are doing journalism. That
yeah.
is used as they will do the research, like, oh, she was messing with that person, or she was messing with that person, and that person was big in this field and whatever field.
Yeah.
What any advice for a Black woman who is coming up, whether it's high school or college, who are working their way up to being a journalist? What advice would you give them going?
My advice would be to know your stuff. The one thing that they can't take from you is credibility.
Right.
So as long as you step in knowing what it is that you know and you are practicing, you are utilizing your resources to gain the knowledge of getting better, that is the best thing that one can do because they can't take that away from you.
True that.
Okay.
True that.
Some
Yeah.
some folks get up there and on the camera and they be just trying to be cute, and at the end of the day, those will dwindle. But the
Yeah.
ones who have been like heavy hitters as far as like continuing to perfect their craft and moving up and up and up,
Mhm.
proof is in the pudding. Credible women.
Always. Yeah.
I will
Always.
say when I see a Black woman in any field, I don't never think, oh, she didn't slept her way up. I say, oh, she the most qualified out there then, because I feel like that a Black woman, Black people, period, but a Black woman has to work twice as hard just to
Yeah.
even be seen as half of a person, and it makes no sense to me. It's like they got to sit there and get all 3, 5, 6, 7 degrees in order to even just get in that room. So I don't never say, oh, that was a diversity hire, or oh, she slept her. No, that's a hire because she worked her way to the top. That means she didn't had every single position up here to get to this position right here. Like I always feel like that Black women have to work twice as hard. And it's unfair, but
It's
they
unfair,
work.
but you know, heavy is the crown, and I think since especially your show is catered to males specifically, I think it's important that we talk about the unification that can come when we see each other, and it's not about competitiveness, but it's about there's enough room at the table for both of us. Like your perspective of the game is just going to be different from mine, and how you share your story is going to be different. But as long as we protect each other and we look out for each other, I think like that's how we make the world a better space. And it's like, forget the outside noise. They gonna do and say what they say. But a Black woman working twice as hard, I mean, like, I didn't even know I was working twice as hard, baby. Like, I'm working on the 3rd degree right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I do. So
tell me, like, oh, I'm working hard.
Listen,
yeah, oh, I'm working hard. Okay, that's cute.
You said all this weight? Oh, it's nothing. It's nothing.
let me get one more in. So I did a research before you got on, right?
Okay.
And according to NPRN.org and RTDNA.org, it shows statistically that Black women are underrepresented in the U.S. journalism. According to a study done in 2024,
wow,
Black journalists, Black women, make up 6% of reporting workforce. Within this group, African American women outnumber men, comprisingly 57.5% of Black journalists. This indicates that Black women constitute approximately 3.5% of all U.S. journalism.
wow.
That is crazy numbers.
Yeah, and when you think about the stories that's on your local news story, usually it is a story talking about us. It's a story affecting us, impacting us. When I did my time in Wichita, Kansas, shout out to my Soros out there, because I know they own and I know they watching. When I went to Wichita, Kansas, that was a very trying space for me because I was outnumbered. There wasn't many that looked like me, but yet the stories that we were telling were about that small population that was in the city. Again, I covered the first D1 Black coach to get the position at Wichita State. And so it was imperative for me to be in that space and share that story, because people need to see a representation, whether it's a Black female, whether it's a Native American woman, whether regardless, people need to see something that they can relate to. So as they're receiving the story, it is a decompress as you're receiving it. Like, oh, okay, it's a girl named Shaquira. Okay, I could get with Shaquira. Like, okay, she cute. What she got on? Okay, girl, what you talking now? Because people are going to see you before they hear you. So in order for them to feel safe or to let their guards down just a little, you need to see somebody that looks at you. So those numbers are crazy, but that's why it's important for journalists out there. Like, your first stop in the journalism world, it might suck. That first market is not the best, but you are doing you're doing the Lord's work, being in those small cities and covering the news that you're covering. So regardless of what comes to your email, whether it's, the audience member getting mad that it is a Black person on their screen, getting mad that the girl got on a tight dress when really it's not tight, I'm just a little fluffy. And when Emily wear it, you're not sending Emily no bad email, but you're going to send me one. Like, don't let the criticism, don't let the distractions weigh you down from feeling like you're in a wrong space, because you are exactly where your feet are supposed to be at, because your steps are ordered by God. So just stay the course. Y'all funny.
That was a lot to chew on right there. Hold on, I had to ingest that.
Funny. First of all, listen. Yes.
So no, and I love it. So I just want that. So you've started created the Houston Texans first influencer program.
Yeah.
What was that experience like, and how does this work so where's the goal? What's the goal? What's happening?
So from journalism, I took a step back because I had some health issues, and it caused for me to focus in on that. And so I was working in PR for the American Red Cross during my time of my health issue. And so I wanted to get back to Texas. I have 2 nephews here that I love dearly. So I was like, yo, God, where you want me to go next? Take the pen and take it away. And he landed me with the Houston Texans. My time there was crazy. because it was a career pivot. I went from journalism to PR to now marketing. So I'm in this realm of just understanding the media from different aspects. And with the Texans, they were just getting a new team. They had just hired D'Amico Ryans, who was like the city fave at that time, or still is. And CJ Stroud and Will Anderson had just been drafted. So there was buzz around the city, and it was a rebranding opportunity for the Houston Texans. So my job and my time with them was very unique. Right now, a game that came down to 5 points. What is it going? Okay, now we go through my Instagram. Now we go through my Instagram. Shaquira Martin, day one underway for the basketball tournament. Cause we can watch my Instagram, baby. I can watch me all day and be like, that's just you know what I'm saying.
Hey, I got one thing. That's that splat.
I'm sorry. I was trying to get it queued up. I wasn't ready for it yet. But
we went straight to it. Yeah. So
I want people to see. some of this goodness.
Okay, so scroll. No,
what's the MEAC Nation? It's your girl Shaquira.
Oh, she said scroll up.
Scroll up. Okay, you see where it says Trill Burgers at? Go back down.
Oh, is that good? Because I was trying to.
Yes, Trill Burger is fire. I'm not sponsored.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, that's a good one to show. That was my time during the Houston Texans. So everybody
on morning side, got no stick in the ride. If I take flicks with the guys, I gotta put emojis over like 3 faces, cause the feds can't see those eyes. People I shouldn't be beside. When I was an actor, they would go Stratford just to sell food on Bieber's side. Plenty reasons why I'm this way, my girl, that's just one reason why. I seen you around at Soto enough, man, baby. You love all some idiot guys. Obedient.
So yeah, that was my time with the Houston Texans. Basically, I created the first ever influencer suite where I worked with Modelo and gave them the opportunity to spread their brand. But what I did was I invited some of the most famous people here in the city, and I said, hey, come to the game. I got a suite. And it was a way for the Houston Texans to get their brand out, to show the community, like, listen, like, the people are here, you should come to a game. And it helped just boost their brand overall. And from there, we went into a rebrand where we developed a new logo and new colors. And it was just really beautiful to see the camaraderie of the city that once hated this team back this team up. And it was all because, again, they saw somebody relatable on social media saying that they were at the Texans game, and it got the community to buy in. So yeah, that was something that I created, and it's a blueprint for the NFL.
Come on, I'm here for it.
You created that. Now, see, you know, I played practice squad. I never won on the start. So, with that being said, I think you're gonna get a suite next season, right?
Okay.
So right now, I'm thinking the HBCU Man Cave is gonna be on top of that.
Period.
Okay. All right. Listen. We ain't about the Cowboys. We about the Texans. So let's go. We there.
Well, I'm a Houston, but I'm an Eagles fan. So the fact that
hold on. You said you're a what?
I'm an Eagles fan. I don't work with the Texans anymore.
First of all,
so now I can come out with my children. And I'm an Eagles fan before this show. Okay, I'm a McNabb. Okay, I'm a Michael Vick. I'm okay.
Listen. I'm a Birds fan.
Talk about it.
I'm a Birds fan. What's up?
Okay, what's up?
Eagles. Okay, I'm sorry, y'all.
Oh my gosh.
Look, that's what the Eagles gonna do, right?
Did you see what just happened here?
I'm disgusted. I'm not gonna lie.
You a Cowboys fan?
No, he a Lions
Absolutely
fan.
not. I am a Detroit Lions.
I rock with Aiden Hutchinson, and y'all just got Glenn up there. Like Detroit might be doing something like. But they're definitely in the conversation.
Listen, I was a Lions fan when they was 0-13.
So. All right, fellas. Come on.
Yeah. I'm born and raised.
So,
I feel that.
All right, here, let me go, because you mentioned them. You teased them real quickly for those who are watching. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, she is a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. And let's talk about power of service and sisterhood. How has your service, or your part of being this program, this sorority, has helped you in your career?
Man, I love I love my AKA. And AKA is just such a beautiful sisterhood. It taught me how to not be competitive with females. You know what I'm saying? Like they really poured into me, and it was a reciprocating type of love. And from there, I was able to go out and spread that love. You know, prior to me finding the light, I will say that I was always about service, but it was just me. But when I joined the sisterhood, you know, there's power in numbers. The things that we have done prior to 2024, 2025, it's just amazing. And that is because like we come together and we unify to accomplish a goal at the end of the day. So that service, that community of just teaching me like, it don't matter if you think different, we can come together and execute a plan that's going to progress our people. I think that that's beautiful, and I think that type of mentality is going to carry us into the future on letting things or letting this world know that we're here and we're not going anywhere. And you know, like women are always going to fight to protect what is rightfully ours. And so that sisterhood just really strengthened my mentality of coming together, unifying, and really like executing on something that's bigger than me. So shout out to my sorors. Seriously.
Okay, come on. She said when she saw the light.
You know, because you gotta you so many girls be getting carried away and it'd be like, girl, you need to stay AKA for them letters on your chest. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
How important is mentorship and community involvement in your work?
Man, it's super important because there were times where I was just doing things, throwing things at the wall, and I still do it. But throwing things at the wall and just trying to find something that stick. Oftentimes I would cry until I was the one that realized I got to reach out. I got to go and find it. It ain't going to come to me. And that's when I got my first mentor, Nakia Cooper, who showed me the ways, and it was just guidance to a world that I was just too young to understand. And she gave me some real conversations when even I couldn't process it correctly. But I'm so grateful for her because she taught me what a real mentorship was. So there would be times where I would meet people throughout my career, and it's like you're hoping that this is going to be a mentor, but not everybody is assigned to your ministry, and vice versa. When you get to a space in your career where you become the mentor and you're gaining mentees, like the girl that I became a mentor to, the first one, Lachelle Smith, I met her during my time in Louisiana, and me and Lachelle just stayed in contact, and she was teaching me so much that she didn't know that she was, and watching her soar in her career. Like, I'm not in media broadcasting anymore, but Lachelle is now a writer for the Players Tribune, and she's on the red carpets of the ESPY Awards, and she's doing things that I wasn't able to do. And I think that's what it's about, like giving her the courage that I got from Nakia, but also giving her more from my experience and just uplifting her, because I want you to be better than me. Like, that's the point of mentorships. That's the point of giving the baton off. It's not a do as I say, not as I do. And at the end of the day, like, I'm going to be a mean girl because I don't want you to surpass me. Like, no, girl, surpass me. Because when you become, and she just texted me like, I can't believe I'm a mentor now. Like, and the girls that are crying to me, like, child, they remind me of me, and you was dealing with a lot of me. And I was like, Michelle, but that's what it's about, because you have exceeded tremendously, and now you are about to teach them everything, and it just continues. So yeah,
Come
like
on. You better come on and pay it forward.
Space. You got to pay it forward for real.
I love it. I love it. Come on. All right. So I'm just okay. I don't know. I think I got another one. So I think you talked about this earlier, but I just wanted to kind of go back again just to make sure. What advice do you give some of the young ladies now who are majoring in mass comm journalism? You know, whether they want to go into print, they want to go into influencer, or they want to go into content creation. You know, what are some best practices or some strategies to really help them pave the way for, you know, to make their mark?
My advice would be not to be afraid to fail, because that's what you are going to do. And when you fail, that is just an opportunity for you to learn what didn't work and to apply it and keep it moving forward. If God's put it on your heart that this is what you're supposed to do, don't let nobody else tell you to do something different. Even when everything around you feels chaotic, like keep pressing forward with what it is that's in your heart. But also, like, be open to different perspectives of what that degree can do for you. I went in thinking communication studies was literally potentially going to make me a professor. And then it came out that I was a sports reporter. Then it came out that I was in public relations. Then it came out that it made me a headhunter in the marketing world because I had all of this experience under this umbrella, not realizing like what it was going to lead me to in the bigger picture. So just be open to the experiences that you get, but also know like it ain't going to come with you just sitting around and waiting. Like you got to be hungry. You got to put yourself in a room. Even when you're not being invited, you need to make it a point to become invited by talking, networking was something that I truly didn't understand until like maybe I was crying all the time every day and I was like, I don't know why it's not working. And that's when I reached out to Nakia and she mentored me. That was a networking connection. Like, yes, that's my mentor, but it was networking because Nakia knew X, Y, and Z, and this person knew X, Y, and Z. And so like you have to be proactive, but as the saying goes, like this ain't a sprint, it's a marathon. So having the endurance to withstand those hard days and the days that you don't understand, or the days like you might be doing something new. In the influencer world, while people say it's something that has always been around, I would like to beg to differ because social media hasn't always been around. Like influencer was the person on your TV and they was in a movie, not just your regular social media person that just so happened to thrive and pop, and then here they are. So it's like I didn't necessarily have a mentor in this space, and that used to put me down. But then I slapped myself on the forehead and I was like, oh, because you're becoming a mentor. Like you are in this space because you're figuring it out, and there's going to be someone that comes behind you and they're going to need you. So
And they need help to figuring it out.
help. So in the spaces where you don't understand what's going on, like just know you're not bigger than the picture, and just to wait it out and just have the endurance to like it's all gonna make sense eventually.
Mm-hmm.
So
Awesome. Come on, Shane, because every time I get ready to do something, I see it. Come on, what you got?
So I wish I had a big sister like you.
oh, let me clip that and send that to my little brother.
No, I'm gonna tell you why. Because again, I played collegiate sports, went into professional sports as a track and field athlete and as a football player, right? So it's a new day and a new time.
Right.
So I have a 3-part question, but I'll ask it one at a time because
Please.
I need for people to understand this.
Okay.
And I'll begin with this one. How do you think NIL opportunities
Yeah.
have changed the landscape for HBCU athletes compared to those at a PWI?
Okay, so that's a great question. Right now, I work with the Dawn Management, and we do master classes on this conversation. I work with Donisha Winter. Shout out to Dawn if she's watching. And we go out and we teach athletes how to understand ownership of their brand. With what you're asking, in particularly, I think the support and the alumni that, because HBCUs, like, yeah, like they're federal funded, whoop, but you'll also learn that a lot of it is donor relationships, and a lot of those donors are people who have their own businesses. So NIL opens up an opportunity for it to be a reciprocal type of relationship. So an athlete who is very good at his sport might be able to go and network and connect with a local business, not knowing that they're looking for that marketing opportunity just with the right person. And you just supporting your small local business can open up to something bigger than what you imagine, because NILs are, it's like an access to everybody.
Yeah.
So understanding that world, understanding that there's a way to support, but there's also a way for you to make some bread off of like your brand. You got to know your brand. You have to understand like what is it that makes you unique in this world and why brands should want to work with you. And so, yeah, we do a masterclass, building up opportunities for athletes to understand that narrating their brand, what you're putting on social media, how you are presenting yourself. Like if the media comes after your game and interview you, do you know how to command attention? Because usually, and this is free game, usually the people who are watching the news are the local people in that area, and usually they're business owners. So if they keep seeing your face, if you speak well, they like your energy and your vibes, like you will be surprised how many reach out to you saying, are you available for an NIL deal? And then boom, bada bing, bada boom.
Free game.
Free game.
That is free game. I know for a fact that I'm far too gone because I wish I was around when it was NIL. Because
you gone, Doc. You gone. Yeah, come on.
I'll be original.
Question, because you ain't gonna be able to get you can't relive that. Let it go.
But what challenges do HBCU athletes face when it comes to securing an NIL deal? And do you believe NIL will help level the playing field for HBCU athletes in terms of recruitment and exposure?
Wow.
Ooh, second question, 2-part. Okay.
Wow. I definitely think it helps the exposure. And I definitely think like slowly but surely, like people are becoming aware, but the NIL landscape is so new. There's like not a lot of regulations, but they are working towards that. So I think within the next coming years, we'll really see how NIL has an impact overall, not just HBCU worlds, but just in general with athletes and understanding like what they're signing up for. And like, again, like I said, their branding. In the HBCU world specifically, I definitely feel like it can level out the playing field. But again, are you at least at a program to where you're getting some type of exposure and people know that this is a thing? NIL can be for the person on the bench. It doesn't have to necessarily be for your star quarterback. But again, like what type of program are you a part of and how are you supporting it? People are going to look at like what type of player and person you are before they even come across thinking about dropping an NIL deal. So I think if a student is doing what they need to do on social media, and if they're out in the community and they're showing faces, I definitely think it's an opportunity to, again, like uplift and expand the awareness. What's the popcorn for?
So I got another one.
Oh, for that. Okay.
I'm coming with it. So from a researcher, because I did my research before I came on here, because I'm ready, we here. So
he want to know.
Yeah, I want to know because I've done my research as a Black football player in the past. I'm not on NIL. I'm far past that.
Yeah.
So when it comes to NIL deal, PWIs, players at a PWI is 9 out of 10 more times will receive an NIL deal than an HBCU. Now, why you think that is so? Because I believe it's TV exposure, right? You have, and not like a PWI have a better or have better athletes, because we're just not on TV a lot as HBCUs. What can we do to expose our HBCU players to get those deals from bigger organizations?
Man, that is, again, a good question. Where did you get that quote from, though? Because with NIL being so new, like who said 9 times out of 10? Like, I'm not saying it's unbelievable. I just need to know, where'd you get that data from?
It's from the nvgt.com. It's from the familiaronline.com. I did my research. I can send it to you now.
Just make sure it wasn't TikTok, because people.
No. I really do TikTok for my. No, I go into
Okay. I think that's a crazy stat for it to be for NIL to be so new. And it kind of has me stuck, but it has me stuck on a sense where I can again, like we're talking about exposure versus non-exposure. We're talking about working twice as hard. It's also being ideal and realistic with yourself and understanding like where you are at. Like sometimes your priority needs to be your schooling and you were there because the school is supporting you through the program.
Right.
So that NIL might not be as big of an exposure for you at that school. So you have to take into consideration like where you're at and you have to be realistic. Now on the side of HBCUs not getting a lot of exposures, I think the HBCU Countdown is doing a really great job with how they are hubbing all of the schools to be streamed on their network. I think they have some really good, credible journalists that are doing a phenomenal job with just talking and supporting. And so hopefully, like, you know, we as people buy in to support that so that become the buzz. Because with that, then that's how you get exposure. I think HBCUs and the Black community in total, like sometimes we have to support our own in order for people not to take us serious, but for people to at least know, people who are outside of our world have an idea that this is happening. But like if we're not supporting our own, like, I mean, how do we expect other people to support? How do we expect other people to know about what's going on?
And I love how you said that because on ESPN, I love what Shannon Sharp and I love what Stephen A. Smith and I love what Molly and them are doing. When it comes to NCAA football, they always have it for the past 2 years. They have a segment where they go to each selected HBCU and broadcast from there. And I believe the percentage went up about 25, 26% of viewership or people finding out where these games will be played at on TV to view it. And I believe that's a start because remember, NIL is pretty new.
Right.
But it's still pulling a lot of weight. And a lot of our HBCU players are great players.
Right.
But they're just not getting exposure.
But it's also, you think about like, not to cut you off, but like March Madness is going on right now.
Yep.
Like FAMU is in it, right? So my question to the athletes
Norfolk
State is there. It's like, how are you taking advantage of this opportunity?
Exactly.
What are you doing? Like I'm not saying to post on social media and go like do clickbait to go viral or whatever, but like take advantage, like get that exposure to work for you, get your name out there so people know that you exist, because people who love the game, like, like they cannot have went to your school, but they can buy into who you are as an athlete. You know what I'm saying? Like you just never know what can happen when you are controlling the narrative. So very big on like when that light pops on, baby, what you gonna do with it?
What you gonna do? Yep. Yep. I believe Norfolk State is going to play a number 1 seed.
We gonna see
in the NCAA March Madness.
Yeah. And well, while we talk about the March Madness, we definitely want to talk about advertisement. If you want to reach out to the host of the HBCU Man Cave, if you would like to join the show, or if you have any ideas for the HBCU Man Cave or want to advertise here on the show, please email us today at info@hbcusense.com. Again, that is info@hbcusense.com with the subject line HBCU Man Cave.
Come on, plug. What you
know? We want to let everyone know again. Now, listen. So shout out something. First of all, Shane has taken us to church, like Bible study. He didn't open up the book. If you didn't know much about the whatever, he just the ABC, LMNOP, football, get you a contract because he didn't get one. You know, so he feeling some kind of way about that. You can tell he got real passion right at the 50-minute mark. But I want to share with everyone, listen, like Kevin just said, here's a space and a place where you can be able to share some good words, whether you want to advertise, you got a message or something that you want to share, such as this gentleman right here, with this quick inspirational moment for our viewers, especially to our men and men of color educators.
Over and over again is
So tell me something. Why are you so worried about what other people think? God gave you the vision, and when he gave it to you, he didn't say you're going to get a standing ovation or people going to pat you on the back or even co-sign it. Stop looking for confirmation from people who are not in the room when God gave it to you. This is your calling. This is your purpose. So stay focused, move with intention, and if you have to walk this path alone, then guess what you need to do? Then you just walk it, because God's plan does not require a crowd. It requires faith. So keep going.
Come on, people.
And just like that, you can also be right here on the show again by going to our website at hbcusense.com or emailing us at info@hbcusense.com. And hey, we even got a whole page on the website now about the HBCU Man Cave. Yes! Listen,
Right. Y'all need a plug. Plug.
hey,
Hey.
before we get out of here, we typically do this every week, and then we don't keep it. We don't keep it because the guys got some good news they want to share. We have a section called Habari, which means it's Swahili for the good news.
Okay.
So here's an opportunity for you to share any good news that's happening in your world, in your space, whether it's in Houston or just some stuff that you're doing at work. It could be something personal, something you're dealing with, maybe in your mentorship, your community service, however you want to talk about it. So at that moment, Shaquira, we're going to put you in the spotlight and you're going to share with us your Habari.
Okay, that's definitely on the spot. But okay. Yeah, if you are looking for a masterclass of understanding the NIL world and brand development, again, you can definitely holler at me. I would love to come share some wisdom with my partner, Donisha Winters, and definitely spread awareness of understanding this new landscape. So that's not necessarily like that's not according to what this segment is about, but I have to do that free plug.
Come on, shameless plug.
Good
We love
news,
it. We love it.
the good news, honestly, is that God is good. Like, despite
All
the
the
up,
time.
despite the down, despite the ratchetness that happens from time to time, like, we serve a God that's unchanging. So I think that's the best news during this Lent season. Just remembering that he died for a sinner like me and you. So I can't do nothing but share that good news as people are in Lent season. So
Okay.
that's all I got.
Yeah.
Kevin, what's your Habari this week?
Oh, I'm gonna be transparent with y'all. I told y'all, but God, might not have no good news today, but that's why I love tomorrow. Words to Gloria. Yeah. So I'm gonna say, I'm just still working to finish this doctorate degree, and my special announcement. I got a date set, April 19th. Please stay tuned for that. I got a special announcement for the amazing, great city of Oak Park, and it's gonna be on all of my social media platforms, on the news, on everywhere. So I just can't wait for that.
Awesome sauce. Shane, Habari.
Listen, I've been waiting for this moment all my life.
We've been waiting for it.
Listen, first of all, let me thank God for what he's been doing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You guys know what I've been through and through. I got a date when I'm retiring.
Oh,
I finally got a date. And it's 30 days from now.
Come on.
Come on.
Let's go.
So, I'll be retiring. You already know what it is. I'm going to see you guys this weekend. So yeah, I'm excited for that. I can't wait to hug y'all. I can't wait to just be around you. Kevin, not that face. No.
Y'all know I'm a little like on the spectrum. I don't like the
just to be around y'all. And graduation date is only 42 days away before I receive my doctorate. So I'm over here just enjoying life because I'm in my season.
I know that's right.
yes.
My season. and I can only give
Oh,
I can only do one thing, but give
great.
God thanks. I gotta give that man. I gotta give that man thanks.
Amen.
But that's my good news. That's my good news.
Wait, can I ask you a question?
Yes, ma'am.
Have y'all had the conversation of talking about Black people being in the space of service, like military, Navy, like all of that? I think that's a great discussion because after watching the Vietnam War, I was like, I can't understand a couple of things. And I think that's just a great perspective for those who are on the outside, especially with what's going on. I think I can only speak for myself, but I'm like, why would you join the service like after the Vietnam War and everything that took place, like on forward from there? But I also understand like how people believe like the service has taught them things that they weren't getting in life. So I just think that's a great conversation to have because it's a two-folded question, like especially when you think about World War II and I with a lot of Black people. They went in thinking it was going to be this and it wasn't that when they came back. I
think that is a great question. Don't let Shane answer that right now, because
please. Please.
No. But we can put it on the docket. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, my Habari Ghani is, let's see. Come on. I woke up this morning. That part. Listen, Lord, I want to just thank you. Listen, you know, sometimes favor ain't fair, but it just come through right on the nick of time.
Yes, sir.
Why go by to go get an oil change and got a new car? What are you doing?
Yes,
Hold up.
Yes, you will. You
No,
know what?
that's my good news. I got a new car yesterday.
Yeah.
Lord Jesus.
I'm not mad at that.
Yeah.
Listen.
I'm not mad at that.
Really, but one thing is like, well, you know, why you here? You know, let's just go and just test drive this other car while you waiting. Let's just give you an estimate. Like, you know what? It's about that time, you know.
First of all, you driving it? You driving it to North Carolina this weekend?
Oh, no, I'm lying.
No.
We're not doing that.
Don't put all them miles in that car for no reason.
It's new.
Right.
Let me get a whip.
That's all right. So, ladies and gentlemen, again, listen, Shaquira Martin, Texas Southern University.
Thank you for having me. This was very fun. Very fun. I appreciate you.
Thank you for joining us today and being part of the Man Cave in this great space. Again, for those who are watching us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, thank you so much for your comments, your engagement for today. Again, for more information about what we do, how we do, when we do, go to our website, is HBCUsense.com. Listen, I'll be in Charlotte with these two gentlemen and our producer this Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We're going to North Carolina to be part of a program called the Profound Gentlemen, which is a Men of Color Educator Conference, making some impact and maintain and retain men of color educators in the classroom from pre-K to higher education and some landscape. And we're actually going to be recording a new show right on the spot.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Come on, with a live audience. So that's going to be pretty fun. So we got to make sure that, Kevin, that Shane knows his questions and his comments because we only have a 45-minute window.
Okay.
And I don't want him to get to at mark 40 and he comes with these 3-part questions and part question 2 got 4
Your second question had 2 parts, but
and he's not checking his text messages. I'm sorry. I can say that a lot. Shakira, we love each other, though.
Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank y'all for having me. I appreciate it.
As always, this has been. Man, we have a good time, so I ain't gonna hold you. Listen, again, we have been celebrating Women's History Month and allowing and to share some of the great work that our women from HBCUs have been doing in their own respective communities. I thank you, Sarah, so very much. Now listen, next week may be a little different because we're gonna be on location, so ain't no telling. So you got to watch our social media because we may go live at any moment. So again, as always, I'm your boy, your uncle, your cousin, and your best friend. And thank you for joining us for another episode of the HBCU Man Cave, a safe space for men to relate, relax, and release. Until next time, stay strong, stay proud, and stay black, y'all. Because I'm black, y'all. I'm blackity black to stay black, y'all. Come on.